Welcome back. In our last video, we have seen the importance of MCP servers and how that help large language models to directly interact with the applications like web browser, database, and external files. Okay, so if you have not seen my last video, because that is the prerequisite to watch my continuation of this lecture. So go back to my YouTube channel and find for Build AI Agent with MCP servers. This is the video you need to see to get basic understanding of what are MCP servers and how to automate browsers, query database, and extract from Excel files and read write. Everything can be done with just plain prompt English instructions. Okay, so all I do is open my Claude desktop and enter the information what I want to achieve in plain English and then submit. And then, with the help of MCP servers, these LLMs will go and automate in my web browsers, extract the information from databases, and read write into files. Basically, all the end-to-end automation process can be done by just asking in the plain English. That's what we have seen in the previous video. Now, in this video, we are doing something different. As a continuation, I am going to show you how to create a Playwright framework, add new test cases, and commit push to the GitHub. Everything can be done with simple prompt instructions, but not in the Claude. Let's do that inside VS Code. So that means with the prompt instructions, let's generate the code and then add test cases and then push that code to GitHub repository. Okay, so in the previous lecture, whatever we asked in English, it has generated code in the backend and it has automated, but you don't see raw code anywhere for future running. But in this lecture, I am going to show you with the same prompt instructions, parallelly code also will get generated, frameworks will be created, tests will be added for scenario what you provide for a manual scenarios. And then not just that, we will also have GitHub intelligence by just asking in a plain English that, go commit the code, commit the files and push the code to my repository. Everything it will do, and it will directly connect and you will see your code in your GitHub repository without even hitting any command, all with just prompt instructions, and that too in the code editor. Interesting, right? So that's why I said before you watch this lecture, because we will still be relying on MCP servers here. So for that to understand, again, I can't deep dive into that because we already spent enough time in my previous lecture to get foundational understanding of what MCP servers and how that make our work easy, right? So that being said, let's get started and understand how to work that within VS Code. Now, so just type MCP server and VS Code in Google. They have provided nice integration that you can see that use MCP servers in VS Code. Okay, so if you scroll down, they have given instructions on how to do and how to add MCP servers. I will show you now step by step. But one thing you need to remember here, VS Code comes in two formats, VS Code and there is something called VS Code Insiders. So anything new features, if they want to preview before they get into public, then they will publish that first in the Visual Studio Code Insiders. This is another editor. It's same like VS Code, but this is like beta version that it is available before actual production build is available to market. So it will have latest release every day and all the new features preview version you can see here. So as of today, when I am making this lecture, this MCP server integration is not directly available in your VS Code. Okay, but for that integration to make it possible, right now as of today, they are providing that in the Code Insiders. So what you can do is download this editor based on your version of your system. I'm in Mac, so I'm downloading Mac Universal. If you are in Windows guy, you will get a Windows prompt here. Just follow the instructions, download it and open, right? I already have Code Insider. It just looks same logo, nothing different. Could be a color change. So I'll go and create a brand new file. All right. Okay, so this is Code Insiders. All right. So let's create a new file here. So right now I don't have any folder, so under Rahul Shetty folder here I'll create a new folder. I'll call it as AI agent MCP. Let's call it like this and create, and this is the folder I'm right now opening here. So what is our ultimate goal in this particular video? Our goal is to create a Playwright framework, add some tests and push it to GitHub without touching the code or any commands. Okay, that's the goal. So for that, first I created a project here. Next step, you should have GitHub copilot plugin for this code insider. 99% of times it comes by default. If not, go to the plugin section. Here you will see GitHub copilot. Make sure you have these two plugins available for you. Just type them and add these two and then restart your system. So once you do it, you will see icon like this, and then you can select to open. Right here where you can ask questions and get things done. So what is our first goal? Our first goal here is to create Playwright framework. So I should ask in plain English, and then it has to create a Playwright framework, and right now it is empty folder here, right? Under this, the whole Playwright structure has to display. Okay. So for that, we need to rely on MCP servers. You guys know that there is a Playwright MCP server which help you to create a framework, create tests inside Playwright, and it will automate browser as well. Okay, if you give scenarios, it will automate on your behalf, right? So that we have seen in the last lecture, and now same thing we need to replicate here. The first thing first, you need to have Playwright MCP intelligence to this copilot, because if you see drop down here, there is a ask. Convert this feature from ask to agent. Okay, so agent is the guy which will help you to automate browser on your behalf with the help of MCP servers. Okay, change mode to the agent. So right now you can see there are 94 MCP toolings functions this agent is aware of. Okay, so these toolings, what are these, everything you will get a clear idea if you have watched my previous lecture. So that's why I'm stressing for every few minutes that previous video is a foundational, and then you come back, right? But when you start from scratch, let's say you have done previously using Claude, right? So if you have previously configured MCP server for Claude, automatically that configuration file knowledge will be passed to this VS Code, because we didn't configure anything as of now, right? We just installed this plugin. But how come magically you are already seeing MCP configurations for this agent? Okay, so here is where from Claude desktop. So that means previously you have created MCP configuration of Playwright for your Claude desktop. So this agent of GitHub Copilot is such an intelligent that it has scrapped your system and found Claude desktop configuration file regarding MCP, and then it imported all those features within it. Okay, so that's why by default when you create Code Insider and Copilot, you see that MCP servers being imported without doing anything. Now where you can find this? So if you have previously done Claude configuration for MCP, that you can go to Claude settings, developer, edit config. Okay, this is the file which you created previously. Okay, so here you have given Playwright, everything. So all this file, Claude desktop config.json, this file automatically read by your VS Code Insider Copilot, and those tools are showing up here. Now let's say you came from scratch and you have never created Claude desktop previously. Then obviously you won't see anything here which you need to do from scratch. So let me do one thing. Where is that file? I'll just comment out or remove everything for now, and I will save it. Okay, so the moment I save it, then what happens is I still have files, don't worry, but you don't see from Cloud Desktop. Scroll down, you don't see it here. So what all you see here is from the Code Insiders. Okay, so that means I have configured for Code Insider agent also. That's why they are showing here. But I'll show you how to do it from scratch. Don't worry. So let's assume for a moment that you don't have anything here. You freshly installed everything. My first step, I have to get Playwright MCP server, because my ultimate goal is to automate on my behalf, right? So just go and ask Playwright MCP server from Microsoft. This is their official website. Microsoft have given this Playwright MCP server. Scroll down and they have given how to configure it. Okay. So for VS Code Insiders, they have given way how you can just get it into your VS Code Insider. Just click on this. It will ask you to open Visual Studio Code Insiders. When you open this, it is asking you show configuration, right? Usually, you know what? Where does this insider copilot will look for having this MCP configuration? Now, you can see that already I have 72 tooling support available. From where it is looking, that you need to understand first. Okay. For that, Shift Command P or Control Shift P in Windows. So there is something called preferences. Type preferences and open user settings. Here where JSON setting file is there, open that file, and here I have my MCP servers configured. That's the reason I am able to see all those toolings here. So when you start freshly, go to this preferences file, you will see blank.json here and you will see 0 here if you don't have any Cloud Desktop previously. Okay, so step by step we have to install here. That's our goal. Let me do one thing, guys. I'll copy this entire thing and I'll cut it so it's blank now. Okay, you see that count reduced to 15. These 15 are coming default from GitHub Copilot chat. I mean the plugin what you install, it's coming default. But other than that, you don't have any information about Playwright here, and you don't have any information about Git also. Okay, this is not belongs to Copilot but not actual Git repository. Okay, so yeah, now if you want start freshly, now go back to any MCP server website. You will see something called install server. You can do like this, or copy this code, config code, and you can directly place in where. That is important. You need to place in the preferences, open user settings, come to the .json file and paste that MCP configuration here. The moment you place here, your agent will get knowledge about it. All right. Now I'll just click this again and I'll say open Visual Studio Code Insiders and install in your user settings. You see this option, right? Select this option and automatically that configuration will fall here. Okay, and there is error. You can see that. Scroll down. Let me open that. It has exited before responding to initialization request. So now if you want to troubleshoot why it is having issue, so what I personally did is I compared this server with the example what they have given. You can either copy paste this or just select this. Okay, ultimately this is the configuration file, it has to go there. Right here there is no arg of y, but here there is arg y. That means they have not updated this link here. So this is the latest. So remove this argument called y, probably that will fix issue, and then save and restart your server. Now you see, looks like it's running. Perfect. And you see 36, the count has moved from 15 to 36 now. Okay, so now your agent have intelligence of Playwright. Very good. Now before we see about pushing the code to GitHub, let's start working. Okay, step one, what we have here is build Playwright framework. Let's add some tests and then we'll worry about how to commit, add files to staging, fix merge conflicts, push the code to GitHub, everything we will just ask in plain English and let agent do for us. Okay, it will be interesting. So first things first, I should ask to create a Playwright framework, which I don't have now. So for that, you need to install Playwright dependencies, Playwright package, and you need to hit some Playwright commands, everything, right? Let copilot do for us. That means our agent will do it for us because it have knowledge of MCP server, right? So let's do one thing. Is it visible? I'll create a plus icon. So I want to open it in a separate window. I have to create my Playwright project under AI agent MCP, right? So I'll just ask create Playwright project under MCP AI agent. No, AI agent MCP. So let's give nice instructions so that it aware what it has to do. Folder path. Right. So let's see what agent does here. It's interesting. Okay, what it is saying is I will help you to create Playwright project under AI agent MCP folder. Excellent. So they are first navigating to this path and they want to hit this command. It looks like this command is the one which help you to get started with Playwright project creation. It's asking, should I continue hitting this command behalf of you? Okay, continue. And then what happens is it will try to install Playwright for us. Let's keep our fingers crossed. All right, see, it started. Now come back to your terminal. You see that it has hit that npm init playwright latest and it's asking for our prompt, should I select TypeScript or JavaScript? Let's say JavaScript. Hit and enter. Just give the default things here. See, basically it hit command on our behalf from our terminal. See, I can show that chat here only, but it's a small in font, so I'm keeping it separate. Awesome. You see that it created a structure for you, right? All you asked in the plain instructions, it figured out what commands it has to use to install Playwright project, and it has done. Cool, right? Now I want to add a test. So I would say in test folder, go create a test which navigates to, so let me use any of my practice web page, login page practice. Let me use this. And sign in. So it knows how to sign in because there is username and password information on the page itself. So it will figure out. Ideally, I would recommend you to give prompt very clearly so that it won't hallucinate. Okay, don't compromise in giving partial prompt. So here it works because we don't have much time, but technically be brutal on giving the perfect prompt because your work has to be done on one single shot, right? It should not hallucinate. Why AI will hallucinate? Only when it don't have enough information. If you be very, very clear, then it will exactly do what you want. Simple. Okay. Now go create and sign in. Let's see. It will just create everything for you and it automates. Okay. So here I want to click on this iPhone X product and add it to cart. Check out and confirm if product added to cart successfully, right? Let's say this is our test. I want to build a Playwright test for this. And I'm asking my agent to do. Let's see. And whatever we do, it will now fall under our, where is our VS Code? Here it is. Under tests, it will try to create a test which will make that possible. Okay, let's see. You see that it's creating a shopping test. It has giving all required things. Okay, cool. It has created a new test file called shopping test. This test will go to this page, sign in, select iPhone product, add to cart, checkout. All good. It has done everything what it needs. Okay, so it logs in here and selecting radio button. All these are not required. Just directly sign in. Let it complete it, edit. Okay, so now good thing here is how these locators are exactly given. With the help of MCP, your LLM has went to this page. It has navigated there. It found locators. All these are happening with the help of MCP. If you don't put MCP into picture, it will still create you test. But these locators are not guaranteed. It will hallucinate these locators. It will just give its hint or approximate locator, but exact locator from your DOM, from actual page is extracted only when there is a MCP into picture, because MCP literally will make your large language model here, which we are using is Claude. It will help Claude to interact with the page with its tooling support, and with that it will help us to get all the locators. Okay. Now, so these are not required because you provide username, password, you log in, and then you wait for URL to show up, and then you select for iPhone X. Once you found it, you go to checkout and then verify whether it contain iPhone X. Oh, it went till end. It has filled the country name, checkboxes. Oh my God, it has done end to end. We asked only up to here, but that's okay. The way it has done, it was very good. But let me run this test. It may not be 100%, but 90% of the code with locators it has already given us. Now you see that it's asking, as test is ready, can I go and execute it? Okay, go and run it. Let's say continue. Now it is running your test, but it will run in headless because you did not provide any headed mode. You can ask customizably run in headless. Okay, there is some issue here with WebKit. Okay, so let me go back to configuration file. Because Safari is having issue in my system, let's not worry about different browsers now. All we worry is about running in one browser, probably Chrome. That is enough, right? We don't need multiple things here. So I'm asking to rerun test in headed mode. At least let's see what is happening behind the scenes. And then the only change what I did here is I removed different configurations. It's trying to running in Safari, Chrome and Firefox. Alright, so rerun test in headed. Again, it will try to create a command with the headed option. So all that it will take care. All you need to prompt it in a better way. You see that it has added now hyphen headed, and it's asking our permission. Should I execute this? Alright, run this and you see Chrome browser is opening. It is logging in. And it is completing the whole flow, right? So it has added item to checkout and it has reached this page, right? And now if you go to checkout, you see iPhone X is there. Perfect. That's all you are asking for and it has done for you, right? It might fail at the last step because we did not give correct prompt instructions on how to proceed here. Our instructions actually stopped at this point, that verify whether checkout is success. After that, it has done its own code, but it has done almost correct. A slight hallucination at checkbox area. That if you provide clear prompt, it will do that also. But our goal until this point is perfect, right? It clicked on checkout button and it has that access. So I'll just remove all this. I'll only care about until where I gave my prompt. And there is a success. Okay. So cool. Now it has automated for us without writing any plain English. It has done. Now, if you want to convert that into page object standards, nicely segregating in framework standards and driving the data from external sources, that's plain GitHub copilot. That does not need MCP into picture. I have already discussed in one of my previous video on how to use copilot in VS Code to make all framework modifications. Watch that lecture. I'm not going deep dive in optimizing this code now. For that, we already spent enough time showing you how we can optimize code from a standalone, because that has nothing to do with MCP. My whole point in this lecture is to show how MCP can be powerful in automating and as well as giving the exact locators from your DOM by interacting with the browser. Okay, that is done and we have a test case in place. Now, let's say we have to push our code to our GitHub repository. and you don't have any knowledge on any GitHub commands. Let's do that very simply. Okay, for that, the first thing first, I'll go and get a GitHub MCP repository for me. So GitHub MCP. So this is GitHub's official MCP server. And then I'll scroll down and I'll just say VS Code Insider install server. And then it will take me here, and then install server in your user settings. Perfect. Here you go. It has created a GitHub for me. So remember one thing, you need to understand what exactly this is doing. This MCP server internally hitting the Docker and then starting your GitHub MCP server. So if you don't have a Docker in your system, then this will fail. Okay. So for that, just go Docker download. You just need to download Docker desktop. That's it. Go to their official website, and then we don't need all that. Just Docker desktop download. Yeah, here it is. Just download this based on your system and run it. Once it is perfectly installed, and then try to start this GitHub server. Okay. But before that, to which GitHub it has to push code, right? To which repository it has to push, that information you need to provide here in the token. Okay. So first create your GitHub account just like this. I have my own GitHub account here, and then go to settings, and from here you will have a developer settings, and here is where you can create your own personal access token. But before I create my personal access token, first you need to know to which repository you are pushing your code, right? Let me create one repository, blank repository, and I'll let my code to come there. So make sure you create repository exactly as your folder name, AI Agent MCP. So you can just directly push here. Okay. And it's a public, just a blank repository. It does not have any code. Now all code should come from your local and has to sit, right? Now for this repository, let's give permission from our token. Settings, and then developer settings, personal access tokens, and I already have one token here. So you can create a new token if you want. Use your passkey or login information, whatever it asks. And then I would say MCP pass is my token name. So let's select a specific repositories which it can give access. Let's select AI Agent MCP. So I'm giving permission only to this repository to read and write. Okay. So repository permissions, you should be able to create, delete everything, right? So just put read and write access, and then you should be able to commit, release, merge, read and write, and that's all. I guess you should be good. And account permissions are by default that related to copilot. All good. So with this information, we just selected one repository and gave some basic permissions, and then I'm creating a token. Generate a token, and then once you get a token, copy it, and here where you need to place it, GitHub personal, oh here it is, personal access token, right? Place this, so that way it can connect to your actual GitHub. If not, you don't know where to connect, right? And make sure you have a Docker in place. Okay, now let me start this server. 36 cache tools. Oh, it's good. I think if I open this 72, this is Copilot chat by default. This is Playwright coming from our insiders config.json. Great. Scroll down, and here you go. I got GitHub also from my code insiders. Awesome. So what I can do now, I have code with me, right? So first I can ask commit this code and push to my remote repository called, I'm just giving a proper instruction so it knows what it has to do. So what is my remote repository name? I'll just give this link. So I'm asking to commit this whole code and push to my remote repository because I don't know how to do that. All I know is a plain English instructions. Let's see how it starts. Okay, it's saying first I have to initialize Git in your folder. That's important, right? Without initializing Git, it can't start adding your files to staging, commit, and then it has to push, right? For that, git init is the first basic command. Okay, next it is saying I'll add all files to stage. Okay, do it. Because we should not give any command, let it handle. The next step is git commit. All right, so creating a commit. Okay, it's creating a commit with this message, Playwright project with shopping test. Excellent. Commit code. And the next step, it has to connect to your remote repository. All right, so it is saying now I will create a remote repository to this link, because to this where we need to push code, right? All you need to see, just watch. That's all. Let agent do all the work behalf of us. And there is MCP server is the magic doing for us this, giving that intelligence to the agent. All right, I have added remote repository. Very good. Now last step, push your code. Wow. It will ask you authentication. Sign in with your browser. Okay, let's sign in. Where to sign? Does it prompt me anything? Okay, good. So I'll say authorize, and then I'll quickly come back. So it will take some time to push your code based on the files you have in your system. But the whole point, what you need to take from here is a magic of having everything by just giving a plain prompt. It says great news, it has pushed. Let's see. Refresh. And here you go. You have your Playwright code as well as the tests. See, you didn't go to the browser to get locators. You didn't write your Playwright test. You didn't set up your Playwright project by getting dependencies. And you don't have any clue about your Git also. All you know is about having the repository where you need to push. Everything step by step we have seen how we have done with the plain English instructions. All those are possible with the help of MCP servers and your large language models. When I say large language models, you see here, Claude is what I selected. You can select Gemini, you can select ChatGPT models, it's up to you. But the overall, the intelligence, how it happens is the Claude or ChatGPT models taking the help of Playwright, taking the help of GitHub MCPs to interact directly with the systems under hood like browsers, GitHub repositories, and does the work behalf of us. And whole this concept, we call it as a AI agent. And this is an agent. You can perform all these in the agent mode only. By selecting this mode, now your AI agent has done everything for you. Okay. Now, if you recall my previous lecture and this, with this knowledge, let me go back here. Now, with previous video knowledge and with this video knowledge, you should be able to automate web browser, fire queries to database, read and write to Excel files, talk to your local file system, talk to your GitHub, push your code and do whatever you need, everything without remembering any code or logic behind it. All you need to know is plain English, which you can ask prompt better. Okay, prompt matters. Make sure you give a proper prompt so that your agent hallucinate less and does the work in first shot itself. Okay, and I'm using the help of VS Code Insiders. Soon you will have this feature available within VS Code as well. As of making this video, this agent option is not yet enabled in VS Code. Hopefully it will come next week itself. I don't know. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's wrap of this lecture, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you like it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. There are a lot of things coming. It's just a beginning. Every week you will see a new video, a new innovation on AI side and how it helps QAs to evolve. That's the ultimate goal of this YouTube channel, what we are trying to build upon. All right. Thank you.